Welcome to the Pretty and Profiting Show, your favorite show for branding, beauty, business, and the truth of how to be a boss lady and build your empire. Pause the show right now and grab your free gift at profitablepersonalbrand.com/hot. It's a workbook and audio training on 5 high-performing strategies to dominate your market and add an extra $1,000 to $10,000 to your bottom line. And now, your host. She's a fierce, creative freaking genius who is known by many as Nikki Hustle. Nicole K. Lundy.
Hey everybody, it's your host, Nicole K. Lundy, and it's another episode of the Pretty and Profiting Show. So today we're talking about how to add brand soul to your social media. Because here's what I am tired of seeing. I am tired of seeing brands, businesses, CEOs, some of you listening, bury your businesses further and further into the ground because you're just sharing bland, boring Facebook posts, tweets, Instagram pictures, whatever. Your social media is just not cutting it. It's not adding value, and it's not sparking sharing. It's not sparking engagement. And on the flip side, I want you to really add some brand soul to your social media because it can be very integral in moving your sales upward. And I know you want that. So growing your social media, adding some vibrancy, some color to it can really, really, really make a difference to your bottom line. So the first thing I want you to think about is how can you add some conversation around what you post. So one of the things we do is we post a lot of things about branding, about business, about entrepreneurship on our social media. But we're also looking, and there's always room for improvement, but we're always looking at the type of post that gets us retweeted, that gets mentioned, that gets somebody commenting on it versus the ones that's not, because we want to spark conversation. Without conversation and without engagement, your brand is not top of mind for the people you're trying to reach out to. So it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people on your Facebook fan page. If nobody is liking any of your posts, if nobody has anything to say, like nothing at all, something has to change because you want the conversation, you want the engagement, you want people logging into Facebook to see what you said. Some brands do this through controversy. Some brands just do it through, really studying how to have a dialogue with their community. Either way, whatever your style is for your brand, for your business, you need to employ that immediately. Brand soul. So another thing I want to talk about is that not all engagement is the right engagement. You want to spark conversations that really puts your brand in the forefront as an authority. So if you're talking about, how people dressed their brand at, the Grammy Awards or the American Academy of Music Awards, whatever, and you're a stylist, you don't want to go into and get into something else that's really irrelevant. She looked good, but she shouldn't even be at the awards this year because all of her music sucked or all of her albums sucked. That's kind of steering the conversation away from your brand being the authority in personal styling for, corporate women or women entrepreneurs, women in business. So if that's your niche, your brand stories, you want to keep it tied to that. So you can have a lot of engagement and it still not be beneficial to your brand. So you want to spark the engagement, but you want to keep it within the brand confines so that it makes sense, it grows your business, and it keeps you as the leading authority. So one of the, there's a few key elements in, crafting your social media posts and tweets and pictures and whatnot. And I want to share some of those elements with you. But before I do that, we're going to take a quick break and then I'm going to share all of the details. We'll be right back. Join the Pretty and Profiting Posse if you are a real deal woman entrepreneur creating wealth and making a global impact with your business. Represent yourself. Head on over to prettyandprofiting.com and get your merchandise. Profit in style. So today we're talking about how to add brand sold to your social media, because what's happening is that, as entrepreneurs, we hear if you're not on social media, you're invisible, your business is dead, your brand is, behind in a dark closet somewhere. I agree. But just because you're on social media doesn't mean you're doing it right. Some people are just, nothing is happening. They're spending a lot of time, they're paying an assistant, a lot of time and money is going into that and nothing is coming from that in terms of your bottom line growing, your business growing, your brand elevating. Nothing is happening. So when you're crafting your social media, you want to make sure that whatever it is you're sharing positions you as the expert and the authority in your arena. So for me, it's branding. I could apply branding to anything, from Howard Stern to one of my favorite shows, The Goldbergs, to going to the mall, to the names of cars. Like, why the hell would they pick that type of name? I can apply branding to so many things. And we have to make sure that we are in alignment, that we are positioning ourselves as the expert and the authority in this space. So that's one of the first things that you have to take on in your business. Number 2 is that you want to stand firm in your opinions. So don't just lightly tread on, if you are a stylist or a copywriter, on the importance of it or how it affects your life or how it can transform your life if you get some help. Be strong in it. If you feel like some, experts are showing up at conferences in pink sneakers and blue shorts and you have a problem with it, express your problem. Don't hold back, because a lot of us hold back and we don't want to really share how we feel about the craziness that's going on. So you want to have a point of view and stand in it and just show your passion about it. You don't have to tear people down and dog people out, but just really have your strong point of view and express it. Lastly, in your social media, you want to tell people what to do. So if you share something and you want them to, if you share something on Twitter, for example, and you want to retweet it, you want people to retweet it, tell them to retweet, tell them how to engage with your brand. If you're on Instagram and you want somebody to repost, tell them to repost. It sounds so simple, but people, a lot of times brands and we as business owners assume people are in our world. Like, why isn't everybody in love with branding? I have to check my own self on that sometimes. But you have to tell people what to do. On Facebook, if you want them to share, comment, tell them, like your post, tell them what to do. Tell people how you want them to engage with your brand. That's adding brand soul to your business. It's sort of like if you have a preference, if you're like the fried chicken master and you have a certain way that people need to eat your fried chicken, you need to tell them that. Otherwise, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to have 10 people come over for your, special secret fried chicken, and they're all 10 people are going to eat it 10 different ways, and you're going to be pissed off because the way to maximize this amazing flavor is to eat it a certain way. Maybe it's hot sauce, maybe it's mayo, maybe it's with, corn pudding. I don't know. But you want to tell people how to engage with your brand. And the way you do it is through, positioning yourself always as the expert and the authority, really standing firm in your point of view, your opinion, and telling people how to share, how to interact with your brand. Listen, there's no more excuses for having these crazy, boring social media. There's no more excuses for wasting time on a social media assistant and paying, for pro accounts with Hootsuite and Buffer and all of these, social media tools if you don't add brand soul to your social media. Listen, it's a new year. Bring a new game face to the game in your business. No time for anything else. So, from this day forward, let's all recommit to adding some brand soul to our social media. It's your host, Nicole K. Lundy, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Pretty and Profiting. Want to learn more about me and what I do? Head on over to profitablepersonalbrand.com. Also, I have a super juicy giveaway for one lucky show subscriber. If you want to enter, you just have to do 2 simple things. 1, subscribe to the show. 2, leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and you'll be entered into this month's $25 Sephora gift card giveaway. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay pretty and stack those profits.